I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I am Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Brianna Jones.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew and Brie to like musical theater. And Andrew, we've got some pretty special guests here today.
Hey, what does that smell, Jess? It smells worse in this room than usual.
Oh yeah, in this room, it just feels pretty intense. In fact, Andrew, why don't you introduce our guest today?
Oh boy, well, coming out straight from the garbage, we have my boys, Andrew Grella and Ben Martin from my band Thanks, or our band Thanks, I should say.
Yes, we're happy to have you both here, Ben and Grella. For what your band is, this is a very strange choice in musical for us to talk about. So, Andrew, what are we talking about this week?
We're talking about Sweet Charity.
Cue the music, Bree.
The minute you walked in the joint, I could see you were a man of distinction, a real big spender, good looking, so refined. Say, wouldn't you like to know what's going on in my mind?
Sweet Charity is a musical written by Neil Simon with music and lyrics by Cy Coleman and Dorothy Fields, based on Federico Fellini's Night of Cambiria. After a tryout at the Detroit Fisher Theater, the musical premiered on Broadway at the Palace Theater on January 29, 1966, and closed July 15, 1967, after 608 performances and 10 previews. It was conceived, directed, and choreographed by Bob Fosse, who created it for his wife and muse, Gwen Verdon. The production was nominated for 9 Tony Awards, winning only for Fosse's choreography. It was adapted for the screen in 1969 with Shirley MacLaine as Charity and John McMartin recreating his Broadway role as Oscar Lindquist. For Bob Fosse, who directed and choreographed, the film was his feature film debut. The plot of Sweet Charity is Charity works at a dance club where she has seen only the dark side of life through bad relationships. One day she meets Oscar and believes her luck has changed. When things turn sour, Charity stays sweet and hopeful that someday her ideals will materialize. So, Ben, you were the one that picked this musical. What is your history with Sweet Charity?
I first discovered the show. I was actually hired to play a production of this at a high school when I was student teaching. It was originally going to be like an all-student ensemble kind of thing, but the drummer, I guess, developed a bad case of senioritis, and he stopped coming to school. So I've been there. Yeah, I was friends with the director, so he's just like, I'm kind of in a pinch right now. Can you come in and play drums for us? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So that's how I was exposed to the show first.
And did you like it when you were brought in to play? Like, what?
Oh yeah, I was blown away. Like the way these high schoolers performed was honestly on kind of like a professional level. I remember even like texting Andrew saying like, hey, like you guys should come down here and see this. Like this isn't your typical high school production right here. And like, well, I do think that the story kind of was lacking a little bit. The music kind of made up for that. Like the music is, like I said before, it was probably just as good as I remember it being this time watching it through.
Mm-hmm. Now, Grella, I am so curious as to your thoughts on this musical, because you just went in raw because you knew you were dragged into this by Andrew and Ben.
I mean, it's very swanky, man. It's very jazzy. It's right on my alley. I very much
swanky and jazzy. This. I like that. Those are good words that I don't think I've ever used. Well, maybe jazzy, but swanky. Yeah, there it is. Swanky is a good one.
You've never used the word jazzy, man?
I've used jazzy. I've never used
jazzy
swanky.
Man, so
you like jazz?
You like?
I am a B-movie fanatic.
You are. So, Grella, why don't you try to explain the plot of Sweet Charity to everyone in the room?
Okay.
Hot seat time, baby.
Charity is, I guess, what you call. What would be, I guess, a modern day stripper. She doesn't have an OnlyFans though, but
they call her a taxi dancer. Which
yes,
dance hall.
Meaning she gets money to dance with other gentlemen.
Oh my gosh,
or ladies or whoever is happen to walk
whoever
into
comes
the
in the club. Really,
doesn't come on.
Yeah, and
I don't think it's 2022 in the show, but
no,
it is the most 60s show to ever exist.
Is there any taxi dancers in 2022? I don't think so.
Let us know if you're a taxi dancer in 2022.
They're called Uber dancers now, actually.
Uber dancers.
They just play some Frankie Goes to Hollywood and they just start dancing. You got to pay a little bit extra in the Uber bill.
Yes. Either way, continue, Grella.
So, our girl Charity, she is she's looking for love after her previous lover dumps her into the river and steals all her money.
Which is an insane plot point. Thank you for highlighting.
And it starts that way. Like, she's just like, ha, 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 ha. Oh, okay. Hello, sir. I love you so much. Here's all these things that I love about you. Actually, I'm just going to dump you in the river. It's like, yeah, all right. Okay.
We start at a 10.
Dumped in the fucking river. I feel like we've all been there, you know?
You pushed me in,
twice,
dude.
you know?
Well, Penn, not on air.
Guys, I thought we had this shit worked out.
Not on air. You pushed me in the water.
Don't call my people.
This interview's over. So dump in the river,
so Charity. So we find Charity dumped in the river, and you know, she's still like pretty, you know, she's like, well, whatever, you know, whatever. I'm gonna go back to my girls at the dance hall, and we're gonna have a good time. And then you hear Big Spender, which is like, you know, a classic, and it's pretty awesome. I did not know that song was in this musical going into it. I mean, I went in like, you know, blind, like someone like, you know, dug a couple pencils in my eyes. Like, I was not, you know, I had no, you know, I just wanted to see what it was. So it was awesome to hear that song. And so from there, you know, she meets up with a famous actor, Vittorio something.
Yeah.
And he's kind of fighting with his girl, and you know, she storms out, and he's all upset. And here comes our girl Charity, and she meets up with him, and they get to go up to his apartment, which is like super cool for her. And she gets some mementos, which is like a bit of a weird thing to do when you go sleep over at someone's house, but hey, you know, I guess people have their things.
If you're rich enough, I feel like you give out gift bags,
because, you know, he was a big time movie star, and here she was, some taxi dancer in a dance hall. But he ends up kind of falling for her and really likes how honest she is, and really thinks she's a cool straight shooter. So, you know, Ursula comes back to the house while she's still there, and she hides in the closet and listens to those two, you know, do the disco, you know, the sexy disco. And
their circle dances.
Yeah. So, you know, once those two kind of get back together, she's, you know, pretty bummed. And then she meets up with this other guy that she likes. Oscar. Totally blanking on his name right now. Oscar, yeah, that's it. And I mean, how long do you want me to go on so she like falls pretty much in love with this guy, and he likes her too, and they're set to get married. But then he's like, no, I know what your past is now, because she kept that hidden from him. And
so he like, turns out to be a real dick, honestly.
And then he dumps her back in the river, and that's, you know.
All right.
That's just a circle of life, I guess.
I love that. We've reached the ending. I do want to pitch to you guys. There are many different endings to Sweet Charity.
I was going to say something. True. Yeah, like the production true. I played in, like they had a different ending. And I knew that coming into this one, but I was like waiting for the ending, being like, I wonder which ending they're going to do for this.
So what ending did your company go with?
This production went with like the fairy godmother.
Yes,
ending,
that horseshit.
The fairy godmother just like,
wait, fairy godmother ending?
I'm not making this up.
Nope.
The school had like a CG kind of thing going on, which was actually kind of impressive even for the time. I'm not kidding. They had like a CG like.
Was there projection?
Yeah,
it was a projection screen.
Yeah,
in a high school production.
Yeah,
it was like a mini projection
that high
screen.
School that Victoria Justice went to on that Nickelodeon
Prince of Victorious. Victorious, yeah, that shit.
Fairy godmother just says some plain crap like, "Oh, it'll be okay, Charity," and then the curtains drop. That's it.
It's the weirdest fucking ending.
It is.
Why would you do that?
I've heard there's even like another ending where like the actors just go on stage and say like, you know, what they're doing that week as far as work goes too. Like it's so bizarre. And then like we got like probably the best ending in this one where Sweet Charity is just like, you know, I'm a boss ass bitch. I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah,
it's girl boss time.
I do. If you guys will let me play around here, I'm gonna show you the 3 different endings. So almost every one of them has the same dialogue. He throws her into the lake. Then in the original production, she gets out the lake and just a fairy godmother is there. And it's just like, everything's going to be great. And then she turns around in an ad for CBS.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was talking about. Like, they just like
that's incredible.
what the actor's doing like later on.
Why is there an ad for CBS?
That's product placement,
that
man.
stuck around.
Cross promotion. I'm into it.
That stuck around
That's
for
marketing.
the original.
Grella, write this down. This is good marketing.
Activate.
But that stuck around for both the original production and the revival. Then they did it. They got rid of it for the third one, and they just didn't know what to do. So she just kind of like, you know what? I've had a bad day. I quit. I'm gonna give up on everything. And then she walks off into the moonlight. In the most recent production, she just bumps into a guy, like a really attractive guy, and he lights her a cigarette, meaning to imply that she's gonna keep on looking for dudes. Now, there is one ending that we didn't bring up here that I wanted to pitch at you guys. So the film ends differently than any of those. So the film ends with her going up on a bridge about to commit suicide, and a bunch of hippies walk by and just give her flowers and say peace and love, and then she walks off feeling better.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
You know what?
Yeah,
That's the best
I wonder
ending.
why that ending isn't so popular.
But they shot an alternate ending because Bob Fosse was worried that the studio would mandate a happy ending where Oscar jumps into the lake for her and they get together at the end.
Oscar jumps into the lake after he pushed her into the lake.
Better.
Yeah.
I think walking away like a boss ass bitch.
I
is
think,
the best one.
I think the best ending is the girl boss ending. Honestly,
The thing is, it took
because Oscar's a piece of shit.
30 years to get there. It took them until like the late 90s to figure that one out.
The Oscar is like a piece of shit, and you don't even want to see them get together after that last scene with Oscar.
He just walks
That's
like
true, yeah.
Yeah, he
Like,
walks like you're a coward, man. Like, get out.
Yeah, he wasn't honest with her at all. He's just like, he's at first, yeah, I'm okay with it. And later on, he's just like, hey, I changed my mind. I decided I'm not okay with it.
Actually.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you mean you're not okay with it? She just quit her job for you as well. And you're just like, oh, I'm not okay because you used to do
I have
stuff.
this child.
Go fuck
And
yourself,
It feels like
bro.
admitting it is like making it any better. Like, it's not, dude. Like, you admit that you have a problem, but you're not like actually doing anything about that. That doesn't make it better. You're like, I know this fantasy is like childish and like laughable, and like that doesn't make it any better.
He's
still
literally like a weird incel looking for like a virgin girl. Like, it's fucking.
He is not really a Chad, not a Chad.
He was the
He's
OG.
literally not a Chad at all.
He is the anti-Chad.
Jess, what's your thoughts on this?
I can't disagree with any of you. I'm just enjoying the conversation, to be honest. I think it is a joy to hear.
You should hear us in the car, honestly. Like,
But I feel like Oscar is interesting because he doesn't show up until like the end of Act 1. Like, it feels like a different musical has been happening until Oscar is introduced. Like, the introduction of Oscar feels like it should be the second scene, but we have the cul-de-sac with the movie actor.
Like,
that she
the
runs
elevator
into.
scene like is like really early. It should be, but instead we have like this other guy that she gets with first, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Fellini movie this is based off of. But I feel like they should have merged the actor character with the guy that pushed her into the lake the first time, so we kind of set up what a bad relationship has so that we can kind of have the hope for Oscar. Because the actor guy doesn't seem like even that bad a guy, even at the end of things, since he didn't promise her anything. He gave her all these things, was just kind of nice to her.
Yeah, honestly, it was just like he already had a different girl and it worked out, and like that was really it.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you guys believe this was originally intended to be a one act, and then Bob Fosse and all of his Fossiness said, no, let's just make this a big, long thing?
That's so Fosse of him.
So my thought on it is it feels episodic. Like, you have the actor guy and then you have Oscar, but then once you get to Oscar, it just like extends through the entire second act.
Yes.
And it's like what would have felt like 2 episodes in like a show.
Called Sweet
It
Charity.
now is like 1 episode and then Oscar, the Oscar show, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
I never really understood the point of Vittoria. Really, like what was the point of all that? I never really understood that.
I think it's to like show that like no matter where this girl turns, like she just runs, and it really just drives that point home of like wherever Charity goes to try and find the thing that she's looking for, like it's always met with some like kind of bull crap that she can't really do anything about, and you know she just ends up back in the river again. You know,
It's a constant circle of just ending up back in the river.
yeah, you feel really bad for her.
I completely agree. When I say the name Bob Fosse, Ben Grella, what does that mean to you, if anything?
Nothing. It just sounds like saucy. So
What about you, Ben?
Ben, you must know Bob Fosse, right?
I don't actually. I've heard the name. Yeah,
Jess, it's
maybe heard
time.
the name
Andrew, why
before,
don't
but-
you?
it's time.
Andrew, I know, but I need you to elaborate for them who Bob Fosse
You want
is.
me to? When
Yes.
you have so much to say.
Andrew, we've
you
done
have
this.
You have to come after me, though.
Andrew, this is our 201st episode. We need to show what you've learned.
Congrats.
All right. Bob Fosse is a guy that made a lot of musicals and movies, who was always stressed out of his mind, and he was a fucking sex addict.
So
he
far,
made
so good.
he made Sweet Charity. He made Chicago. Is that right?
Yep.
He made All That Jazz About Himself, which is a movie.
Yes.
What else was there?
Pippin?
There's Pippin. The movie version of Cabaret. So he made all of this stuff. He's really good at doing these like jazz dancing choreography stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the like, what era would that be? Like the 70s?
I'd say
70s
late
musicals?
60s, early 70s, and early 80s.
Like that dance look is basically Bob Fosse.
Like
that style.
like the fishnets and the top hats, that was really his big thing. And
That's his thing.
and dance style wise, he influenced people that would influence all of generations. So he mentored people that would mentor others. So his effect is still being felt to this day because of who he put up. But in the early days, he was very known for propping up his wife, Gwen Verdon, who was more famous than him, and then he eventually became more famous than her, into these shows. And this was one of those shows that he developed specifically for his wife to star in.
And he cheated on his wife during it.
Yeah,
because
Nice.
of course he did.
he always cheated.
Because
on
of
his wife.
course he did.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And then when the film came around, he was hired as director by the actress, so he couldn't even bring his wife in to do the thing that they created together. So it looked like a real dick move.
I threw away my marriage for this.
Well, the thing, and we're gonna tie it all back together here. So Bob Fosse and his wife, very strained relationship. He was openly fucking people. She was openly fucking people. They were separated but
It's
still
a great
married.
show about this, by the way. If you guys are looking for recommendations, you can watch Fosse Verdon.
Very good show on FX. Sam Rockwell and Michelle Williams. But Sweet Charity gets a revival. Gwen Verdon is hired to consult on it. She says the actors are very good, but the director doesn't know what he's doing. So she brings Bob Fosse back in to direct the revival with her. And for the first night of the national tour, they're both going out, getting ready. He dies on the front sidewalk outside of Sweet Charity playing on stage in his wife's arms.
No way. That's wild.
That's the way to go.
It's
a way to go, that's for sure.
It's pretty fucking wild, is all I'm saying.
That's wild.
And it all ties back to Sweet Charity, the big first collaboration between him and his wife.
Wow.
And the strange part is, Gwen Verdon wasn't like your usual ingenue. She was big on like goofy sexy, where she was like willing to look kind of dumb and own it. And I feel like this is the perfect role for a comic lead. But what do you think of the character of Charity? Because she isn't like what you'd expect in like a sexy Bob Fosse lead.
I like Charity as a character with a good arc of like, she's kind of dumb and doesn't really know what she's looking for. And then she thinks she finds it, only to realize that it wasn't what she wanted by the end. Which is why I think that the best ending is the one where she walks off by herself, and doesn't have a fairy godmother show up and advertise CBS.
You know
But
what?
that's my thought.
What about you guys? Grella, Ben?
Yeah, I think Charity's character is actually kind of ironic in itself, because like she has kind of an innocence about her that allows her to put herself in these positions constantly where she keeps falling after man after man after man and so on. And but her work is really not innocent at all. So I feel like that's why she's kind of an ironic character in that sense.
I agree.
Insightful.
I also feel like I agree with the innocence, and I don't think she's dumb. I think she's just kind of socially
She's kind of
awkward.
innocent.
It's
And I feel like she's kinda innocent.
it's a naivety, I think. Naivete?
Naivete.
However you say that. However you want to say that.
I don't usually highlight this when we talk about shows unless it's a Fosse. What do we think about the dancing?
You know what I thought about the dancing, Jess, but
You love the fucking dancing. You always do.
I love the dancing. I always do. Well, I mean, I
it
don't
won
always.
awards, so like, how bad could it be? Like, the dancing was great.
Yeah.
Look,
well,
things
yeah.
can win. Things can win awards and be bad.
Yes. Yeah, Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah. Suicide Squad did win like, the award for best makeup.
I mean, maybe the makeup was good in that. I don't know.
know.
I didn't watch it. Nobody did.
Now, a lot of people did. The first Suicide Squad made a lot of fucking money
Well, a lot of things can suck and still make a lot of money.
and win awards. So Suicide Squad did all three.
Yeah, we're comparing Sweet Charity to Suicide Squad now, which is definitely an appropriate comparison. But that being said, I think the
It's
dancing
appropriate. I think
Harley Quinn
has a similar arc to to Charity. Honestly,
Honestly, I see it.
no. I mean, what is the Joker besides a boyfriend that would throw you in the river?
He threw her an acid. Yeah, I agree, but like there's an entire segment just of dancing, just of like styles of dancing, and that is called The Rich Man's Frug, which is one of the most famous Bob Fosse dances of all time. It is still being done to this day. If you revive Sweet Charity, you will be doing that choreography specifically because it is so iconic. What do you guys think of that scene?
Which song is this one?
It's like the full dance sequence when he takes her to the bar, where it's like the different styles, like the aloof, the blah, blah, blah.
It's literally it's not really a song. It's more of a dance break.
Yeah, it's a dance break where it's just all dancing all the time. Let me show you how good I am at this. I'm Bob Fosse.
I feel like at that point it's pretty clear about what he's doing. He's just kind of stroking his ego a little bit. Like, look at all these dance moves I got.
Yes, but he...
Well, he stroked it so good that he's still stroking it now. He's not even alive anymore.
But he does this so often, like in Pippin, he will just have like, we are going to do a dance that represents war, and it's just three people doing like hip thrusts. Like that's just his kind of vibe. And
nothing says war like a couple of dudes doing a hip thrust.
You're not wrong.
You haven't seen it. It's honestly pretty good.
Pippin's pretty great.
I know some songs from Pippin, but I haven't seen the musical.
It's okay.
Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, like going back to my other statement too about like when I was first exposed to this, like I remember in like middle school or high school, we actually sang Rhythm of Life. And then when I got hired to do the show, I was like, oh damn, it's Rhythm of Life. I know the song and I really like it. And it's like super catchy. And like it's so weird that like after all that time, I still remembered Rhythm of Life.
I do want to talk about Rhythm of Life. I was going to save this for a little bit later, but I feel like it's not going to come up from most of the other people.
Sorry, I ruined the show.
No, it's okay. So Rhythm of Life is a strange scene. You could cut it out of the story entirely. It affects nothing. It's very, very interesting. In the movie version, it's Sammy Davis Jr. performs a song, and it is one of the best musical theater sequences ever put to film. It is truly, like, in a bubble. It is so fucking incredible to watch. Every dance, every cut, it is so ridiculous, so incredible. If you haven't seen that scene, like, I highly recommend it. It's one of those rare times where the stage just does not do it justice. You have to have it cut. Bob Fosse was talking about, like, on the stage I could only have like 2 cars, but on the screen I had like 50 cars and like 500 people. It was great. I love making movies. And then the movie flopped and he never made a movie like this ever again.
The movie flopped because they said it was too long, right?
It is a little long. It is shorter than The Sound of Music, though, which made $2 billion. It is an hour and 39 minutes, and it has an intermission and an overture just to make Andrew happy.
It's only an hour and 39 minutes?
Yeah.
That's really not that long if you...
Mm-hmm. And he cuts things. Like, for someone that directed the stage show to go on to direct the film and then being willing to cut a bunch of shit like Charity Soliloquy and a bunch of other songs, that's pretty good. Before we go on to previews, I do want to tell a quick anecdote about Gwen Verdon performing this show. So Gwen Verdon kind of was feeling a little done with the show by the end of it. Her voice got strained. She was a dancer more than she was a singer. And by the end of the show's run, one night, she just like, I'm not going to sing Where Am I Going in Act 2. I'm just going to skip over that. And she did that for a couple
of they just skipped it?
She just didn't sing it. She's like, I'm not a fan of this song. I don't want to do it, so I'm not going to sing it. So she just didn't sing it. One savvy audience member compared it to the cast album and said, hey, I'm getting screwed here, and threatened to sue the theater. And Gwen,
you can't sue the theater because they didn't perform one song, can you?
And Gwen Verdon took money, like she was like, what percentage of the show is that song per ticket? And she gave him back that percentage of money. rather than
There you
go back to singing the song.
Here's your fucking shitty song money.
And I just think that is a charming story that says a lot about Gwenford as a human being.
It's really funny because when we go to play venues, a lot of times the venue will pay us to stop playing. So it's kind of similar to that.
Wait, is that really a thing that happens?
We're the snowflake generation, but these guys are really the because one song was performed.
Yeah, fucking. Wait, what would that be? The greatest generation?
I think that's still the boomers, probably. Maybe.
Well, fuck boomers. Although every time we do say,
they're a little old for my taste.
I will say every time we say fuck boomers, there's like one boomer viewer. I'm the only boomer viewer of your show, and I think that joke is funny anyways. So keep insulting us, boomers. Great. And I'm like, you know what?
Thank you, boomer.
Okay, boomer. Speaking of boomers, how about we compare our opinions to those of the insane folks over on Letterboxd.com? It's time for our favorite segment of the show. It's Previews.
It's time for previews. It's time for previews.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Let's get it.
All right, Andrew Bree, it's all in your hands. I'm going to drink.
All right, Andrew. All right. Who's on your team?
Who wants to be on my team?
I'll be on your team.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, let's go, Bree.
Okay. Grella. The first one is, in all caps, that coward.
I'm gonna go 1 star.
That is a 5-star, but we'll get it. We'll get them next time. It's okay.
I'll keep score while you guys do this.
All right, Ben. So this one here. She's just like me, for real.
Is that a 5-star?
You tell me.
I think that's a 5-star.
It is a 5-star.
All right, 1 point for Ben.
Okay, ready?
Ready.
When are we getting a Muppets version of this? I want to see Miss Piggy do Fosse elbows.
5 stars.
That's a 5-star. We're on the board.
Hey, we're tied.
Okay. Let's see. Oh man. All right. Here we go. This is all lowercase, so. Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god! Stop fucking lying.
That's gonna be a 5-star.
That's a 1-star.
Ouch.
Who's lying?
Isn't that a song
Yeah,
like why the fuck you lying?
Why you always lying? Damn, okay.
Okay, nothing ever damaged me more than this.
Oh man. That's good because it could be all right. I'm gonna say 1 star.
That was a 5-star, but it's okay because we don't understand the people over at Letterboxd.
They like to be damaged. I think
They like to be
They're
damaged.
just like
really.
Jared Leto
so
Joker.
good.
They want to be damaged.
Yeah.
They want it tattooed on their forehead.
I want the pain.
It's so easy to misinterpret these messages when they're written out. Like, and it's not like someone speaks it. Like, it's so easy to misinterpret them.
Exactly. Letterboxd is a curse.
All right.
Let's take the lead here.
Yep. Here we go. This is the whole thing. Find the full review on my blog.
I think that's a 1-star.
It is a 1-star.
I give that review a 0 star.
All right, Bree.
Okay. This movie is in no kind of hurry.
1 star.
That's a 1-star.
That was an easy one.
1 star.
Catching up.
We're tied now.
Okay. All right. This is the whole thing. All lowercase. Men are weak.
1-star.
That is a 1-star.
All right, Grella.
Got us there.
Alrighty. Thinking of adopting the male part of the frog as my general day-to-day vibe.
What?
The frug is the dance
The
sequence.
Frog, not the frog?
Yeah.
Who would name it the frog?
I don't know.
I like frog.
I like frog better. I'm just... It's the weird dance
It's
they do.
spelled like frog.
It really is spelled like frog.
It should be F-R-O-O-G if they wanted it to be frog.
One man's frog is another man's frug, you know?
All right, so how many stars is that?
I say that's a 5-star review.
That's a 1 star, but that's okay.
I would have guessed the same thing.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Got tricky ones. Those are tricky, man. I don't get them.
All right. This one here is in all caps. Sweet Charity is on the TCM channel right now.
Okay, I feel like that could go either way. I'm gonna say 5 stars.
That is a 5 stars.
Oh, okay. That could have been a 1 star because you could just like, why watch it here when it's right on TV right now?
Or maybe
My caps
it
lock
meant it
is
as a
on, it's
bad thing
locked.
because it was all caps, yeah.
Yeah.
You really never know. You can never tell.
Let's do 2 more rounds.
Okay. Working on my Gwen Verdon impression to seduce Fosse in hell.
Wow. Let's go. I'm going 5 stars.
That's a 1 star, but that's okay.
It's
I
another
would have
one
guessed
star.
that too.
Wow.
Well,
All right,
the hint
this
is that
one-
Fosse is in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. Okay. OMG, the music! 3 exclamation points.
That's gonna be 5 stars.
It's a 1 star.
Bruh, come on.
They didn't like the
can't-
music.
Like, if you're gonna leave a 1 star review, you've got to elaborate a little bit more than just like the music. What about the music? Like, what? It was good too. Like, I already went on about like how good the music was and how much I remember it. Like, I want to
yeah,
talk
sure.
to this guy. I want to talk to this guy. Be like, I want you to elaborate.
You can't tell. You can't tell. This is a letterbox person. They're not real.
Oh, they're like YouTube commenters, I guess. They don't have feelings.
They're not. Yeah, they aren't real people. You can't talk to them.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right,
Freaking
Grella.
YouTube.
Shoes on the bed? Question mark, question mark. Fosse probably thought he was doing realism.
5 star.
That's a 5 star.
Hey. All right, Ben.
All right, here we
5
go.
stars for realism.
Let's see. All right. The dancing is great.
That might be sarcasm. Like, you could put a 1 star review and be like, the dancing was great. But I'm gonna go safe anyway and say 5 stars.
So that is a 1 star review.
He was being sarcastic. No, I literally even said it too. He was literally being sarcastic.
All right, guys. You guys are
dancing
tied
was
right now.
great.
Can I do one final tiebreaker that I ask?
Sure.
And you guys have to answer at the same time, and whoever gets it wins. All right? Okay. Here's the full review. Bittersweet Charity lived hopefully ever after, in parentheses, and so will I. Ben?
1 star.
5 stars.
Grella takes the lead and wins the game! Bravo, sir! That was an impressive,
Thank you.
underdog, steal right there at the end.
Thank you. Came all the way back. The storming charge.
I'm just a choke artist. I'm just another John Starks.
You know what? How about we go into a mid-show, and then we'll talk about some songs. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt you in the middle of the show, but we've got a chill at you. Today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon. Over at Patreon, you can find commentaries, a full Patreon-only podcast where we're currently covering Tangled the series, and you get video episodes of this podcast where you can see Ben and Grella's beautiful faces right now. And you know what? They're butt-ass naked right now. You can't prove that they're not unless you join Patreon. Oh, he's doing the meat spin! Put that away! Oh. Andrew,
Bruh.
who's currently supporting us over at Patreon?
All right. Our current patrons are Melissa Goldman, Leighton Ackles, Danielle Renix, Jess the Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Monica Thoreau, Mina Maneri, Brent Black, Othaniel Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Carrie Ahern, Mary Lou Choquette, John Vanals, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, Kyle Summers, Janae C., Scoot in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Liz Lim, Allison Stuller, Nothing is Certain Except Beth Ann Taxes, Thespian, Ren Cullen, Rafael Martinez Salaz, Jessica T., Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, Katie McDonough, Timothy Keys, Chris Marcotte, Mimu, Kiji Marie Anastasio, Leela, RG Noriga, Super Antelope, Charlie B., Patrick Deering, Avery Brinson, Bjorn Hermans, Lily's Hazel Eyes, Erica S., Toriana Frazier, Sammy the Most Lopez, Leanna Morton, Angela, Kylie Blazier, Birdman69, Cinemageddon Reviews, Villainous Miss, Sophina Alley, The Omega Geek, Katrin Evans, Paige Pearson, Maddie Wargle, Jonathan, Ilana Resnick, Rachel Bishop, Eliza Erdman, Anna Loskutova. Is that how's that pronounced, Jess?
I don't know. They will send us a letter soon telling us how, hopefully.
Anna Luskatova.
That sounds
I think
right.
I'm gonna guess Luskatova. Anna Luskatova and Lauren Sheely.
Or is it Shelley? We'll never know, but they give us a little extra financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals of Cheese. If you'd like to join them in supporting us and get tons of fun perks such as Patreon commentaries, our episodes a day earlier, even earlier, come join us over at Patreon. Also, I don't promote this enough, but you get a discount on all merch if you're a certain level of our Patreon. We also have merch on our website. Go to musicalswithcheese.com and buy some fucking merch. All right, let's get back to the show. The best song in the show, like the most iconic song in the show, is Big Spender.
The minute you walked in the joint, I could see you were a man of distinction, a real big spender. Good looking, so refined. Say, wouldn't you like to know what's going on in my mind? So let me get right to the point. I don't pop my cork for every guy I see.
Are we all in agreement here?
Yeah. I'm in agreement.
Andrew, had you heard the song before we even sat down to watch this?
Me?
Yes, you. I call you Andrew, call him Grella.
Yeah, Oh, okay, yeah. I've heard Big Spender for sure.
Where have you heard it?
I think that was. I don't even know. It's just like a cultural thing that I've just heard somewhere, and I can't even remember where. I've definitely heard it before, though.
I mean, they definitely start Fosse Verdon with it, and they explain how it was
that might
shot.
be it. Although I feel like I've heard it even before that, but I'm not sure.
Go to a lot of strip clubs, eh? They do sing in a lot of strip clubs and burlesque shows.
I do go to quite a few strip clubs, so it does make sense.
Speaking of people that go to strip clubs, Grella, where have you first heard of this song?
I think it's I've heard it in commercials. A lot of rappers have sampled this song as well. And then, I think like Andrew said, it's kind of just like one of those cultural songs. We're all spending money here in America. So that, you gotta buy the diamond ring. You got to buy the fancy car and the fancy house. So, hey, big spender,
Fair enough. What do you think of the song in its placement in the show? I think it sets up the location perfectly. But Ben, what do you think about it?
As far as location goes, it does kind of do a really good job setting the scene, but considering it's definitely the best song in the whole musical, if there was a good way to maybe save it for later, that'd be good. But it also kind of helps set the setting too. So, pick your poison, really.
Part of me is almost upset it isn't the opening number.
I feel like this is before they started saving the best song for the end kind of stuff. I don't know. Wasn't that
it should have been at the end, but
that's something they started doing with blockbuster musicals.
Andrew Lloyd Webber, the big ones.
Yeah. Yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber would write one song and he'd put it at the end, and
he'd write one song and then play it 5 times, and then the best part of that song plays at the end of Act 1.
Yeah. But I think they just probably placed the songs where they fit in the story for this show.
Yeah, they put that kind of work into it. So let's talk about. So I know we all love Big Spender, and I love it, but I don't agree that it's the best song in the show.
Ooh.
So I think the song that really highlights your lead actor the most is If My Friends Could See Me Now. I love this scene. I love this song. I think it is, especially dancing wise, if you got a great actor performing and dancing this, that is all you'll need to see from the show to sell you on the show.
If they could see me now, that little gang of mine, I'm eating fancy chow and drinking fancy wine. I'd like those Stumbo bums to see for a fact the kind of top drawer, first-rate chums I attract.
I will say that is probably the most popular song out of this whole musical right there, because like I'm pretty sure American Dad did a spinoff of If They Could See Me Now. So like they've used it so much.
American Dad is a cultural milestone in a lot
That's
of
really
ways.
the measure of popularity.
Play a clip from that right now, Bree.
If they could see you now and all this fun that you found, but they surely can't because they've all drowned. Ghostly corpses on the ocean bed, they die of jealousy, but they're already dead.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
on American Dad, it's on South Park.
If they could see me now, that little gun of mine, I'm eating fancy chow and drinking fancy wine. I'd like the Stumbo bums to see for a fact the kind of top job, first-rate chums I attract. All I can say is, wow, we look at where I am. Tonight, let me pow, they in a bathtub. I say that, holy cow, they never believe it if my friends could see me now.
Well, to be fair though, Seth MacFarlane just puts musical stuff everywhere in all
He
of his
really
shows
does,
because
though.
He just released a jazz album recently.
He's a theater kid, and everyone except for Family Guy fans know it.
Okay, I've pitched this other places and people don't agree with me, but I'm hoping that Andrew, you'll agree with me here since we just covered Rodgers and Hammerstein last week.
Yeah.
I want there to be a proper Carousel remake, and I think the only person that could play the lead, the Billy Bigelow lead, is Seth MacFarlane, because he's already
Because he's just that unlikable.
Well, he's already
and, like,
America's problematic fave, where they've forgiven him for doing a lot of shitty things. He's got the Rhode Island accent. He can sing. He kind of looks like he'd hit his wife.
You know, you're pitching it now, and I kind of feel like they should just do what they did with Family Guy Star Wars. Can we just get Family Guy Carousel?
I'm in. Count me the.
It's like what is Peter Griffin is a
Billy Bigelow
or whatever.
Oh my gosh!
And it's perfect. It's perfect.
They literally sang. Hold on. On Family Guy, they sang "June is Busting Out All Over" like a recent episode, and then they give you shit about like at the end. It's like it's from a musical called Carousel, which men had to sit through in order to get a blowjob from their girlfriends, and it's terrible.
South Park already did that joke.
South Park reference.
It was like
South Park
a
already
worse
did that joke.
version of the South Park joke. And the South Park joke, at least, they knew their shit. They referenced Sondheim and shit.
It was also all just a sneaky way for them to advertise Book of Mormon too.
They wrote all the songs
normies.
with their co-composer from Book of Mormon. Yeah, that is the truth. But If You Can See Me Now is honestly a really good song, and it's a tour de force for any actress doing it. Really, if you're a triple threat actress that can dance and can sing, it's this and Call to the Vatican are like the two big songs that you can use to show off your dance skills and your singing skills all together in one. And it's just good time.
Yeah, this song's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And this song is why you need the actor character, because without him this song couldn't exist.
Yes, but couldn't we merge him and the asshole character that throws her into the lake into one character called Obi-Wan Kenobi?
But I don't want. But I don't want to hate Vitero though. I think he's cool.
He is cool. I like the fact that he leaves her in the closet all night while he bangs his wife. It's great.
Yeah.
Dude, it's fucking good.
And she admits to like, hey, I watched you bang your wife. He's like, you watched all of it? Yeah.
Do you think she liked it?
I mean,
do you think he liked that she saw the whole thing?
he would prefer it if she was dressed as Superman.
Oh, all right.
We're getting into Rick and Morty now. Okay.
Bro, it's all adult animation all the time over here. Yeah.
We gotta know our
Yeah,
guests. We
baby.
gotta adjust for our guests, Andrew.
What do you guys think of Smiling Friends? Great show, right? Jess, any thoughts?
Hey Andrew, what do you think of the Flintstones?
Flintstones is a good
Hold on.
Let's
Hold
not get
on.
into Flintstones.
I want to piss off.
your famous Flintstones
Wait,
like
does Andrew hate the Flintstones?
rant. No, it's not that. But like he has this huge, like the socio-political, economic
theories about
the Flintstones.
how the Flintstones transportation system works and how it's.
How is this not come?
He went on for this for like 45 minutes the first time we talked about
We've done
this.
201 hours of a fucking podcast, and somehow this hasn't. We've talked about Doug Walker at least once a week for the last 10 weeks, but we haven't brought up this.
Jess, you've never really asked.
All right, what's your opinion on the socio-political side of the fucking Flintstones traveling?
Okay, so there was more to it, and I can't remember all of it right now, but a lot of it's like when you're on the bus and you're paying to be on the bus, like it makes a lot of sense. Like it makes more sense to take the bus in the Flintstones world if more people are taking the bus, because what you're paying for by taking the bus is the labor of everyone else who is taking the bus, since all of them are running on the bus. So when you take your own car, you have to push the car by yourself. When you take the bus, everybody on the bus is pushing. You know what I'm saying?
But Andrew, that saves you like a lot of money on not having to buy a Peloton. If you are lazier if you're taking the bus with more people. So really, you're only shortening yourself.
Jess, have you ever tried to fucking run with 3 tons of stone?
Do you know how big my calves would be if I did that every day?
Have you seen Fred Flintstone? Somehow he's still got a fucking beer gut.
Well, that's just because
I don't know.
I don't know.
Look at what you made me yabba dabba do.
All right, back to Sweet Charity. Thank you, Andrew. That was a great transition.
I have more. I just couldn't remember all of it.
It's all right. It obviously wasn't a good enough argument to make. So let's talk about "I'm the Bravest Individual," the song between Charity and Oscar in the elevator.
When I'm so jittery, my knees buckle. Ice water tickles my spine. I'm trapped like a butterfly in a net. Then I say to myself, I'm the bravest individual I have ever met.
I'm the bravest individual I have ever met.
Oh, Lord, this elevator scene goes way too long.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of a good, like sometimes when you're kind of trapped in there with that small space with like kind of nothing to do. Yeah, I feel like time does kind of slow down. So maybe that's kind of appropriate that it kind of felt like it was going on forever.
You know, maybe it's appropriate, but I didn't like it because it took forever. My God, do something else. Like, I don't know. It's funny, though, because they keep getting stuck in places.
There's no dancing elevator scene, though?
No.
Yeah, where's the dancing elevator scene?
I will say that the movie does trim it down a lot. He, like, almost immediately passes out, and the intermission ends on a to be continued, where literally it's like the lights go out, and then we go to the intermission in the movie intermission, and then we come back, and it's like, where we left off, and I liked it.
See, that's smart. So it's like the stage show is like the Hobbit movies, where you watch the entire battle that happens, and then in the book, you read the book, and he just passes out in the first 5 minutes, and then it's over.
Yes, it's exactly like that, Andrew.
It's just like that.
The movie has a lot of good things. I wish Bob Fosse had been able to direct more movie musicals in the traditional sense instead of reinventing the fucking wheel with things like Cabaret and all that jazz, despite me liking all that jazz and not loving Cabaret. Let's talk about The Rhythm of Life, which is one of the weirdest songs in the entire world, and it's fucking amazing in the movie. It's okay on stage.
And the rhythm of life is a powerful beat, puts a tingle in your fingers and a tingle in your feet. Rhythm in your bedroom, rhythm in the street. Yes, the rhythm of life is a powerful beat. And the rhythm of life is a powerful beat, puts a tingle in your fingers and a tingle in your feet. Rhythm in your bedroom, rhythm in the street. Yes, the rhythm of life is a powerful beat.
Ben, I feel like you've got a deep connection with this.
Yeah, I mean, it's more to say. Yeah, I mean, it's a banger. You say I have more to say, but like, I don't feel like there's really that much else to say. Like, it's really memorable. It'll stick in your head for a long time. Especially, I'm pretty sure I sang this in middle school in our school chorus, and like, it just really stuck around for that long. And again, like when I went to play for this production, I was like, oh hell, this is the rhythm of life right here. Like, I remember singing this, and like, yeah, it still slaps. Like, the melody will like kind of play in your head. And I feel like even before that production, like I was kind of keeping that like in the back drawer, in the back of my head, like that. As like occasionally it'll pop up. It'll be on rhythm of life is a powerful beat. And then like then this show came around. And it was like, oh yeah, I remember you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was really good. It was a really good memory.
Fair enough. Andrew, can you do me a favor? Can you explain to me why this is in the musical? What prompts this song to happen?
Oh, good Lord. I don't even fucking remember. Is there a prompt for this song? I'm pretty sure what prompts it is that we're coming back from intermission.
Probably him stroking his ego.
Yeah,
again.
it's that. As the movie, which I've watched more recently than the stage show, he's going to church, and this is his church, and they...
it's so okay, so there's no reason. Yeah, again, so there's no reason. It just happens.
Yeah, and then they put him and Charity together in a very tight space, and then his claustrophobia is cured.
Maybe it's to kind of show, like, this is my take on it. Maybe it's to kind of show that, how Oscar has a bit of a wild side too. Like, Charity obviously has a wild side a little bit with, like, just kind of her personality and what she does for work. But this is also to show that maybe the two characters are kind of compatible, because he has a bit of a wild side to him, because this is not exactly like, a very orthodox church that he's going to. So that's kind of my interpretation of it.
I like that interpretation, but I also like Grella's pitch that it's just him stroking his ego, because that is equally as likely.
That was also
oh
Ben's
shit, was it
That
really?
was also
I'm
my
so
take.
sorry.
Can it be both? I mean, it could be both.
No, it's one or the other.
Okay, we're gonna flip a coin on this. Somebody get a coin.
I'm gonna go with heads.
Okay, yeah, let's go with heads. Who has a coin?
got it.
I don't know. Brie, get a coin flipper out or something. Okay.
And it's tails.
Damn it, I don't know.
Grella wins. All right.
Grella wins.
That was your idea, Grella.
All right.
Let's talk about the penultimate number. I am a brass band, which is Charity being very happy that someone loves her. And then it turns out, not really.
Don't we all turn into a brass band when someone loves us?
I become a harpsichord. I become all these instruments that aren't a part of a brass band. It's great.
What's really cool about us is that we are always a brass band.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the reason why I bring it up to you guys, because you guys are literally a brass band. Do you agree with Charity's assertion that she is a brass band?
No, because she gets dumped in the river.
Oh,
Bro, we literally
dump us. So.
Yeah, we literally got dumped in the river last night.
Yeah, the East River. Yeah, you're right.
What happened there? Jeez.
Again, they paid us to stop playing, but we didn't, so they literally dumped us in the East River.
Yeah, they said get out of here.
When we try to contract these brass players, a lot of times they don't show up. So maybe that's like metaphorically they're dumping us in the East River. So again, up to interpretation, I guess.
I mean, I like how it's done in the stage show. The movie is slightly better because they just take over all of New York and just empty out the streets, and it's just her and a band, and it's great. And they do a lot of teleportation editing the way that Fosse does. I think the song's good. It doesn't feel like the end of the show kind of number, though. It doesn't feel like, like a memory or something that's like, oh yeah, we're wrapping up, don't worry.
Yeah, but to be fair, this show doesn't really have like an end.
No, it just kind of stops.
It just kind of
there's no
stops.
happy ending here. It's like Charity's like, I'm gonna be okay.
The happiest ending is
like,
you.
I'm not gonna commit suicide.
The happiest ending is
okay,
you watch Fairy Godmother on CBS the next day.
Great show.
There is usually text at the end that says she lives hopefully ever after, which I think sums up her character very well, but it's also a little on the nose, if you ask me.
Just a little bit. Just a tad. Just a wee.
Just a wee bit. If you guys were given the pen, a Broadway producer comes and says, hey, you have to fix the story of Sweet Charity to make it a little bit more cohesive, what would you do?
That's a good question.
At the end, Vittorio shows back up and is like, I dumped my wife in the East River.
Dude, that's brilliant, dude. Oh,
or
my
she
goodness.
bumps into the wife in the East River, and then they end up together.
Oh, man.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Wow.
see, there's
Turn it into 2022.
that's
Those
the
are two
ending.
spicy endings right there.
I'm
Seriously.
actually
Yeah,
into
that's
both
like
of those endings. I think those are
Time
both
travel
pretty good.
stuff right there.
I mean, let's be clear. Mary Martin, who was doing Broadway in The Sound of Music, was basically an open bisexual having many lesbian relationships. It wasn't that uncommon in the Broadway world.
I feel like, it'd also be a good ending if like Charity like immediately starts pursuing like another dude, maybe.
I mean, they have done that ending.
that is one of the
It's
endings.
one of the endings where there's just a very hot guy that lights her cigarette for her.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I mean, that
one.
is the most recent ending.
Kind of got overshadowed by the suicide ending that you discussed earlier.
Yes.
That's when Jay-Z wrote on to the next one.
All right, so let's say Jay-Z decides I'm writing a song for Sweet Charity. What would it be? He's writing just one new song for Sweet Charity.
He could do 99 Problems.
99 Problems.
99 Problems would have been.
Or so like this is a new song, or is this a song he already made?
Oh no, new song. He'd write a new song, but
brand new song. Oh, okay, all right.
I feel like we already know what Jay-Z's opinions on all of the things that happen in this show are, so it's pretty obvious what would happen.
Do you get that from the Lemonade album?
Yeah.
Word.
What song do you want to discuss, Ben?
I like to cry at weddings.
All right.
I love to cry at weddings. How I love to cry at weddings. I walk into a chapel and get happily hysterical. The ushers and attendants, the family dependents. I see them and I start to sniff. Have you an extra handkerchief? And all through the service, while the bride and groom look nervous, tears of joy are streaming down my face. I love to cry at weddings. Anybody's wedding, anytime, anywhere, any place.
So here, I have a little bit of a take about this song. I think the high school production that I saw maybe did it better than this professional, and I have a little something to back that up. It's so the guy in the high school production, the one that played Herman, I think his name is, the kind of the ringleader at the gentleman's club, if you would. So what he did in this one, like he got in like this ridiculously high falsetto voice, and it was just hilarious. Like, and I love it because like he's such like a harsh character all throughout, and then like you see a sensitive side, and like not only that, but he gets so like overcome with emotions that he goes into this ridiculously high voice. I love to cry at weddings, and it's like it's hilarious. And like performance wise, like obviously the pros did it better. I think I like this version a little bit better because it's so goofy. That element of comedic relief is so great.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I like the song. It does tend to get a little lost in the rest of the show. So I kind of like that you have a little defense of it and could see a new comedic side of it. But since we're talking specifically about this professional recording, did any of you recognize who the lead actress who played Charity was? A very famous Hollywood actress from the 80s.
Oh, in the play that we watched, the Molly Ringwald.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
That was crazy.
So for that revival and for Broadway, so that was the touring production. For Broadway, there was 10 different women attached to being Charity, and each one dropped before the show for XYZ reasons. So among them was Jane Krakowski, Marissa Tomei, and eventually who ended up playing it was Christina Applegate, who broke her fucking leg 2 weeks before going on, and then
you're not supposed to actually do it.
And then they were thinking of just canceling the show altogether, and she's like, "No, I'm gonna go on." So she recovered as much as she could, and then performed Fosse numbers on a mostly broken leg.
Oh my lord!
Nice, a real Greg Jennings.
And then when she
put the team on my back,
and then when she was supposed to like leave and be replaced by someone else, they were gonna get Britney Spears, but negotiations fell apart, so the show just closed.
Whoa!
What year was that?
I think it was
was that like 2010?
2005.
Oh, okay.
So
Britney Spears, that would have been wild.
I think I'd want that more now than back then. She's gone through it back then.
Yeah.
But on that note, what is our overall thoughts on Sweet Charity and our cheese ratings? Andrew, why don't you go first?
I liked it fine. It's a bit unclear what it wants to do sometimes, like, but overall it's got a good vibe to it, and I like the ending of the one that I saw. I'm kind of glad I didn't see any of the other endings, because honestly they all sound kind of dog shit to me. Especially the fairy godmother one. I honestly cannot believe that that's even real, that they actually do that. Unless the implication is that she's dead, like she actually drowned in the river that time. I don't know.
It's a choice.
But as far as a cheese rating goes, I'm gonna give it Comté cheese, which is it goes with sweet things like fruits like strawberries. So I think that's a good choice.
All right, Grella, you're up next.
Can you explain the cheese
Literally
rating to me?
any cheese you can think of that you can try to justify to be a rating. It's just us making fun of rating systems and how kind of stupid they are.
Okay, I understood. I understand. Well, I liked the show. I mean, it's got some good tunes. It's it's got the brass in there. It's got, I love the music's I mean, it's a musical, but it's, it's great. It's the best part of the whole thing. The story is kind of like meh, but the songs are great, and they kind of stick with you. So I'm gonna just go with the Swiss, because there's the whole is the plot and the story, and the story is like meh, but the music's good, so that gives you a nice piece of cheese.
Hell yeah. Ben, you're up next.
Well, damn, Grella kind of took my answer quite a bit. I'm also going to go with Swiss cheese on this one, because like the story is honestly kind of bland. And I feel like, just having a little bit of a happier ending, considering how long some of this stuff drags out for, would have been nice. But it's just kind of bland. But like, considering how iconic Swiss cheese is by itself, I find a lot of the music to be iconic. Like we were talking about If They Could See Me Now, Rhythm of Life, Big Spender, a lot of those are really great tunes, and they're really iconic. So for being an icon, yeah. And then for having kind of a bland story, I think Swiss cheese is a very fair rating for this.
Fair enough. Bree, what'd you think of our discussion and your cheese rating of that?
This discussion was fantastic. I had so much fun. My cheese rating is going to be a cheese puff. And that's because they remind me of parties. And this kind of felt like a party. I had a drink that had too much rum and kind of went to my head. I also had some Chex Mix. And you guys had lots of laughs. And I also laughed. I also laughed, but I was on mute, so you couldn't hear me. But it felt like a party, and I had a great time. So thank you. I'm going to mute myself now.
Thank you, Bree.
Well, that's the end of that.
I like Sweet Charity a lot. All my misgivings with Fosse and a lot of his trademarks that have kind of not aged great with me, they didn't bother me too much. I think Charity is a great character, and if you got a really charismatic actress that's kicking ass, this show is a ton of fun. I could see, on the other hand, if you got like actors that aren't that great with dancing, this show could be a real rough sit. But the only cheese rating I could give this is a brass cheese that is also a pencil holder. So I'm gonna show you this, so you don't think I'm making this up. So this is an
sounds like you're making it up to me.
I know.
Are you getting this off that generator
No,
thing?
I wish it was.
What the fuck is that?
That is a pencil holder of a cheese made entirely of brass, because I am a brass band when I'm in love.
Oh, fair enough.
All right.
How do I get me one of those brass
I
cheeses?
don't know, probably Etsy.
All right.
Get everything on fucking Etsy.
Speaking of getting everything, gentlemen, you have an EP coming out pretty quick.
Not just an EP.
Oh,
it's actually an album.
Promote it. When's it coming out? Where can people find it?
Our album is coming out July 15th, which is tomorrow. It is 14 songs. It features our horn section. It features Andrew DeWolf playing melodic bass. It features Ben Martin playing jazzy drums. And it features me singing and playing piano and ripping a saxophone. So it's called You're Welcome because... we're called Thanks, and what else would we call our debut album other than You're Welcome? And it's a really good time, and we had a lot of fun putting it together, and we think it sounds pretty good too, so we hope you do too.
And just for an extra treat, we will be playing at the end of this podcast a full song from that album, so you guys can get a little taste of what you'll have to come, and be sure to add it to your spoofy playlist in Apple CryTunes. Bullshit! Come on, these are good gentlemen.
There's some sad ones on there. If you like to cry, there's some sad ones.
Oh
on
my
there.
gosh, what is the saddest song? What is the song that doesn't make
Bipolar Express? Probably.
I don't know.
Express.
Food Library always gets me.
Tears to your eyes.
Yeah, very very sad one there.
If you guys like the end song to all of our YouTube videos, it is Don't Ask Why, which you can also hear on this album. A lot of these folks will be pretty aware of why should I go to the place when I don't know?
Yeah. We revamped it too. We put a lot more production into this new version of Don't Ask Why, and it rocks pretty hard. So
you know what, guys? That'll be what plays at the end here. Enjoy that song.
All right.
Anywhere else you guys can be found? Social media, Instagram, anything like that you want to promote?
We are at The Band Thanks on Instagram and Facebook.com/The Band Thanks. We have a website too, www.thebandthanks.com. And we have a TikTok, so, you can find us there too, at The Band Thanks.
You want to see me do some yo-yo tricks? I'm on there. We got Scooter Gang content as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did Andrew ever show you the Christmas gift I got him this year?
I think so, yeah. I think
is it the vinyl? Yeah, man, that was really cool.
Fucking great.
That's really. It's got Leave Her Johnny on there too, right? And Give Me a Break. And
I thought I did a pretty good job of that. I was pretty proud of that.
You did an excellent job. I don't think we've spun it yet though, because
I haven't spun it yet. It's still fresh.
Yeah, we still got it. We have to spin it. We've been talking about doing that.
All right. I want video when you finally do get it going.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, gentlemen. Did I read this at the end of this? Oh fuck, I didn't. I know this is the last episode's problem. But thank you guys for listening. Please follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. We're on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals. We're on Patreon at Musicals with Cheese, Instagram Musicals with Cheese, YouTube page Musicals with Cheese. We have a Patreon-only podcast called Patreon with Cheese. Email us at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. This show is produced by the incredible, the wonderful, one of my favorite people in the entire world, Brianna Jones. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform. Our theme songs were created by Robin Nash of IU Music UK. All right, gentlemen, is there anything else we have to say before we wrap this up?
You're welcome.
Oh.
Stay cheesy.
Stay cheesy.
Stay cheesy,
wow,
my breezy.
My God. Yeah. All right, we'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese.
It's always better to change all alone. It's so many times you waste when you sit and do nothing. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Don't ask why should I go if there's nothing. Don't ask why should you roll if you can. Don't ask why do I go to the lake that I would go when it's early in the morning and I ain't had a bit of Now we're reaching the hours of dawn, and I'm singing the same damn song. When the road up ahead's looking bleak and you can't stand on both of your feet, but I'm begging you listen to me. Don't ask why should I go if there's nothing. Don't ask why should you roll if you can. Don't ask why do I go to the lake that I would go when it's early in the morning and I ain't had a bit of sleep. Don't ask why should I go if there's nothing.